The Type 63 or the DMR-14, which is the best semi-automatic tactical rifle inside Cold War? That's the question this video is going to answer. This video is going to give you some overall stats, comparing the stats from the game as well as some calculated ourselves, so you know which one you should be choosing between these two rifles. If you enjoy stat breakdown videos and weapon comparisons, we do make a lot more content like this, so if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel as we're trying to hit our goal of 5,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and we'd love to have you. Both of these guns are semi-automatic tactical rifles inside Cold War, and the reason why I decided to make this video just now is because we do have double XP. On top of that, we do have the new Nuketown map, and this makes it really easy to level up guns like this. I'm not really a huge fan of semi-auto rifles, so I thought now would be the best time. Although these two guns are very similar, they do have their own place inside of the game, and you'll see that when we take a look at the stats in just a second. But like I said, these guns are going to be one of the more difficult ones to level up at the moment, so I definitely recommend taking advantage of that double XP. As always, we're going to take a look at the class setups we use to compare both of these guns, and I'm going to be completely honest here and say that I went for the fastest fire rate as well as the fastest movement speeds. So I tried to build it as fast as possible to make it easy to level up. For the Type 63, we went for the mill-stop reflex, surprise surprise, or you can also use the axial arm scope as well. That's a pretty decent scope if you want to go for longer ranges. I then used the rapid fire barrel for the Type 63. Now the other barrels that do increase fire rate give you other cons, so that's why I opted out of using those. We then used the Spetsnaz grip for the best possible recoil control, and then we used the taped mags for the faster reload time. You could also go for the 30 round mags as well, but I prefer faster reloads. And finally, we use the Spetsnaz field grip to give you a quicker aim down sight time, and these guns do need it. Then for the DMR-14, we went for a very similar class setup here as well. So again, we used the mill-stop reflex, or again, you can use the axial arms for those slightly longer ranges. We then used the strike team barrel for the faster fire rate for this gun. Now there are other attachments that also increase the fire rate for both of these guns, and you'll see them later on in this video. We then used the field agent grip for better recoil control. We then went for the jungle style mags again for the quicker reload, but you could choose the 30 round mags as well, that's a great option. We then went for the jungle grip, which not only gives you a faster aim down sight time, it also helps your flinch resistance as well, which is definitely very useful for guns like this. Now, of course, these are only 5 attachments we're using. You could use the gunfighter wildcard and add 8 attachments to these guns, but I don't feel like it's completely necessary. On top of that, you might not fully agree with the attachments we used here, and that's completely fine. Like I said, I built these for the fastest possible speed. Some people may prefer to use this for longer range shooting instead, and you can build the weapon for that also. On the screen here, you'll see the stats for both of the guns, the Type 63 on the left and the DMR-14 on the right. Green is some highlight areas that we want to point out, blue is with the recommended attachments added from earlier on, and white is the base weapon. We can see for headshot damage, both are a 2-shot kill. For body shot damage, both are a 3-shot kill. The rate of fire advantage goes to the DMR by about 40 rounds per minute, so that means the time to kill for the DMR-14 is going to be slightly quicker by about 32 milliseconds. We can also see that the attachments we added increased the rate of fire and therefore decreased the time to kill for both of the guns. So now our new time to kills with the attachments added for the Type 63 is 308 milliseconds, which is definitely much better. And then for the DMR-14 is actually 262 milliseconds, which is really quick. The base damage drop off for both guns is just over 50 meters. And then you can see for the DMR-14, because of the attachments we used, that reduces the damage range down to 38.10 meters. The DMR-14 has the faster aim down sight time as well, both with and without attachments. It's not a significant difference, but a difference nonetheless. The bullet velocity advantage goes to the DMR-14, as well as the reload times, even with the attachments on, are pretty much exactly the same for both of these guns. These reload times were taken from the game. If you want to see the more accurate reload add time, stay tuned for our gun guide videos. For the base gun, the Type 63 has a slightly larger magazine. On top of that, it does have a slightly higher damage profile. Not that it makes a significant difference to the time to kill, or even the number of shots you need to kill a fully healthed opponent. So far, the DMR-14 sounds like the better option here. It kills quicker, it aims down sights faster, and that just overall sounds like a much better weapon. So let's see if the barrel attachments help the Type 63 in any way. So on the screen here, you can see all the different barrel attachments for the Type 63 as well as the DMR14. We have the rapid fire barrel, the strike team barrel, the titanium barrel, as well as the task force barrel. Some of these barrels affect the damage for both of the guns, some of these barrels affect the rate of fire for both of the guns, and some of these barrels actually affect both. So for example, the task force barrel does boast a damage increase, however it doesn't actually affect the time to kill for either one of these two guns. But what it massively improves on is its damage range values, and you can see that it boosts the damage range from 50 meters to over 100 meters. If you're looking at the fastest possible time to kill for both of these guns, the titanium barrel is definitely the best. And if you're looking for a good balance between damage range as well as a lower time to kill, then the rapid fire barrel for both of these guns is a good option as well. Now it's all fine and well extending out your damage range to the largest possible values, but you need to be making sure that you're actually hitting your shots at those ranges. Because with the task force barrel, 100 meters is quite a far distance inside multiplayer, and like I said, being accurate is quite difficult, so which one of these guns is the most accurate? On the screen we see the recoil chart for both of these guns. We have the Type 63 in green and the DMR14 in blue. On the left is with no attachments, and on the right is with the recommended attachments we had from earlier on in this video. What we can see straight away, and even on the left hand side of the screen, is that the Type 63 is definitely way more accurate than the DMR14. So even though the DMR14 kills quicker, it's going to be much harder to land your shots. Now with these recoil charts, these are the worst possible recoil charts you can get because I was trying to spam the trigger as fast as I possibly can. If you took time between your shots, maybe you'd get a much more accurate result, but that's not what we're trying to test here. Then on the very right, you can see that the Type 63 with that Spetsnaz grip definitely helps out quite a lot. You can get the gun to be very accurate. Even that field agent grip on the DMR14 has helped that gun significantly as well. But overall, the Type 63 is the most accurate gun here. Even though the DMR14 at its fastest fire rate has the advantage in terms of time to kill, the Type 63 has the advantage in terms of accuracy. With that being said, the last factor in terms of accuracy we need to consider with both of these guns is hipfire. It's definitely something I would not prioritize very highly with these two guns, especially them being semi-automatic. On the screen here we see the hipfire chart for both the Type 63, which is again in green, the DMR14, which is again in blue, and we can see that both of these guns have terrible hipfire accuracy. And this is of course to be expected. Now of course you can add on attachments like the steady aim laser or the 5mW laser to make it a bit more accurate, but it's not attachments I would recommend for these guns. But if you want to see how these guns perform with those attachments, stay tuned for our gun guide series. Hipfire accuracy is something I'd rank very low in terms of reasons why to choose one of these two guns, but what I would consider really high is the accuracy of the guns. That's why I personally prefer the Type 63. Even though the DMR14 does have the lower time to kill advantage, you're not likely to be spamming that trigger fast enough to reach the fastest possible rate of fire with that gun, and that's why I would rather choose the gun that is more accurate, and that just makes sure all the shots that I do fire actually land and hit my target. Let me know what you think about both of these guns down in the comments and which one you prefer, and if you're going to level them up in this double XP event. If you enjoyed this video and you want to support the channel, leave us a like as it helps us get recommended more. On top of that, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more breakdown videos like this. And that way you get to see them first before anyone else, and it helps you understand the game just a little bit better. And thank you very much for watching.